All right, what's up, everybody? I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple news stories from this week. The first story that I found is New York Post. U.S. Jews increasingly concealing their identities over rising anti Semitism, survey shows. Mm. Majority of American Jews experience anti-Semitism over the past year, with many changing their behavior out of fear, according to a survey released on Friday by the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement (CAM) ahead of the United States 250th anniversary. The survey, commissioned by CAM's Anti-Semitism Research Center, which is an organization within the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement, found that 57% of Jewish Americans reported experiencing anti-Semitism in the past year, equivalent to an estimated 3.3 million Jewish adults and approximately 250,000 Jewish children living in affected households. So, I guess they're saying that there's about 6 million Jews in America. 6.66. Uh, Findings also suggest that rising anti Semitism is prompting many Jews to conceal their identity. What do you mean? Um, how does anybody conceal their identity in America anymore? How does that work exactly? What sorts of things? I mean, like wearing disguises? Is that what they mean? Or changing their name? Do they carry multiple phones? How do they conceal their identity? Um, Let me know in the comments if you know anybody in your life who has had to conceal their identity before and tell the story. I'd like to hear how they did it. The more openly Jewish you are, the more likely you are to experience anti Semitism. Unsurprisingly, as a result, Jews are changing their behavior and thinking twice about how openly Jewish to be. I don't think there's anything wrong personally with being openly Jewish. I don't understand. I don't understand how they think that concealing their Jewishness will make them safer from anti-Semitic. Like, how does that work? Like, how do they conceal their Jewishness? Like, I don't know. I just don't understand that. At the same time, the survey responses demonstrate that Jews overwhelmingly support adoption of the IHRA definition. IHRA definition. What is that? Well, we're about to find out. The data is clear. The mandate is clear. It's time to adopt the IHRA definition and go get to work protecting the ability of Jews in America to openly, proudly, and safely embrace their Jewish shared ancestry, history, and heritage. What is the IHRA definition? See if we can find that in the article. Nowhere in the article does it state the IHRA definition. So I'm going to look that up. Because I think that's what the article is really about. IHRA definition of anti Semitism. This is Okay, this is I guess Wikipedia. The IHRA definition of anti-Semitism is a non-legally binding working definition. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. This is HolocaustRemembrance.com. Okay, I think this is it. Okay. Anti Semitism is a certain perception of Jews, which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti Semitism are. Wait. Okay. All right. Contemporary examples of anti Semitism in public life, the media, schools, the workplace, and in the religious sphere could, taking into account the overall context, include, but not limited to, calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of Jews in the name of radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. Okay. What what radical ideologies are they talking about? And what are they calling extremist views of learning religion? Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews, such as the power of Jews as collective, such as, especially but not exclusively, the myth about world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. So now we gotta look up mendacious. Not going it. Lying, untruthful, false, untrue, dishonest. Why couldn't they just say that? So making lying, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews. Okay. Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined. Hold up. Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, or even for acts committed by non Jews. So even if it's real, if you accuse Jews as a people, that's anti Semitic. Denying the fact, scope, and mechanisms or intentionality of the genocide of the Jewish people. So I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm not accusing. If you accuse the Jewish people of a genocide in, let's say, Gaza or Lebanon, or if you deny their Holocaust, they are both considered anti Semitic. accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. What is a Jewish citizen? Oh, I guess a Jewish citizen in the United States. I guess that's what they mean. Denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination. For example, claiming the existence of the state of Israel as a racist endeavor. I guess if you call the state of Israel racist, I guess, I don't know. Applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior. Applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation. What? I mean, I guess they're talking about Israel, applying a double standard to Israel. Using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel to characterize Israel or Israelis. Drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of Nazis. Okay. Holding Jews collectively responsible for actions of the state of Israel. What the heck? Anti-Semitic acts are criminal when they are so defined by law. For example, denial of the Holocaust or distribution of anti-Semitic materials in some countries. Yes, I know that in England, if you deny the Holocaust, you can go to jail for that. Anti-Semitic acts are criminal, and criminal acts are anti-Semitic. When the target of attacks, whether they are people or property, are selected because they are or perceived to be Jewish or linked to Jews. Anti-Semitic discrimination is the denial to Jews of opportunities or I guess I want to know, is it anti-Semitic to even read this? Like, I'm reading their definition of anti-Semitism. Am I committing an act by reading the definition or by asking what it means? I honestly don't know the answer to that. Moving right along. Here's a question before we move right along. What if we replace the name Jews with white? Like, if it was sort of anti-white discrimination. I'll read the first one, whatever that is. What does it say? Calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of white people in the name of radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. Could the same rules apply to everyone? I don't know. Let me see. Speaking of white people, hundreds of mass white nationalists marched in Washington on 4th of July. Where's this from? The Guardian. Neo-fascist group Patriot Front parades banners including Confederate flag, chanting "Reclaim America" in the U.S. Capitol. Hundreds of masked men carrying banners including the Confederate flag marched through Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July, the 250th anniversary of the U.S.'s inception. The group appeared to be led by Thomas Russo, founder of the neo-fascist white supremacist organization Patriot Front. Members of the group wore white masks and gathered in front of DC's Union Station. They later marched towards Capitol Hill, WTOP reported. Members chanted "Life, Liberty, Victory" and "Reclaim America" during the Saturday demonstration, including according to video posted on social media. Okay. So here's them marching around. They have some riot shields. They're all wearing like khaki, like cargo pants. White shiesties. Here's one upside down American flag. The white supremacist group's gathering attracted some counter-protesters. In one video, a man with a bullhorn shouted at Patriot Front members, "Every single one of you justifies the effing right to abortion." Some guys are kind of gaggling. Here they are. They're doing sort of a march. Here they are on the subway. That seems to be like the story that concerns people the most. The people, they're getting on the metro and riding around. All right, so you see these guys getting on the metro and going down the escalator. They all have masks on. Here's my question about that. It was over 100 degrees outside. As I do my duck hands, you see, it's over 100 degrees outside. Would anybody watching this walk around in a mask like this, in a uniform like this, in 100-degree weather if they were not being paid to do so? Would you march in 100-degree weather with a mask on, not being able to breathe? I don't see any water bottles. Or is there one? Is there one water bottle? None. Would you march around like this if you were not being paid to do so? See, I don't think the right question is why are they doing this or what are they doing. I honestly believe that they are being paid to secure the metro and to secure the 250 event in case there's a possible like attack or something. I think they're being paid to be there. You have to be a complete freaking idiot to walk around sweating your ass off and you're not even getting paid to do it. And I think they're getting paid well. I think they're all getting, GS12, GS13 pay. That's just my opinion. All right, do we have a last one here? All right, we'll talk about Madonna a little bit. She just released an album. I haven't heard it. I don't know if it's any good. I hear that it's good. But here's the thing. In preparation, like for this album and the build-up, Madonna went out and got a BBL. She is 67 years old. And she got all this work done. She got a BBL. Her face is like pulled back over her ears. I would say why, but I guess it's for money. 67 years old. So I'm going to put Madonna BBL. Madonna's plastic surgery journey. Madonna's botched butt lift. BBL rumors swirl. 67 years old. Great Scott. Okay, there's my question. Did Medicare pay for her BBL? That's wild. 67 years old. Gee, my knee. Now when you go out and you get a BBL, like you can't sit down for like weeks, right? You're sitting on like you like laying down flat. You can't like long car rides, long plane rides. What? What the hell? That is crazy. I don't know, man. That's Madonna BBL. Here she is. Now, don't get me wrong. Back in the 80s, I guess late 70s, 80s, she wasn't bad looking, man. She was she was dating what, Basquiat, whatever. I mean, there's no doubt whatsoever she's had a lot of work done on her face, and I don't, you know, it's her money, whatever. But there's such thing as getting older gracefully. You know what I mean? We'll just leave it at that. All right. Uh, Thank you for watching. If you watched it all, I appreciate it. Um, like I said, I don't know if reading the definition is really hateful. It wasn't meant to be, but please comment if you think that anything I said was untoward. Um, Subscribe, and if you like what you heard, or subscribe if you don't like what you heard. I appreciate it. Thank you. And that's it for that.